Chelsea are in a deep fog right now. 4 losses, 0 goal. This project is starting to look less like a vision and more like a cage. And the biggest name in the squad, he might already have one foot in Madrid. But before we get into this video, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. And now I've been a bit quiet behind the scene lately. And to be honest, your boy is dealing with a lot. And I apologize for the radio silence. But while I've been away, Chelsea has been dealing with even more, both on and off the pitch. We are currently staring into the abyss. It's not just a rough patch, it's a collapse. We are coming off a 3-0 loss to Everton, which marks 4 losses in a row. From getting battered by PSG 8-2 over 2 legs in the Champions League to losing back-to-back Premier League games. It's looking dark at Stamford Bridge, and there is a lot of blame to go around. But before we point fingers, let's look at these cold hard numbers. The most damning metric right now is our inability to lock the door. We used to pride ourselves as a fortress, but right now that identity is gone. Chelsea hasn't kept a clean sheet since January 17th versus Brentford, 9 league matches in a row. When you aren't keeping clean sheets, you put an impossible amount of pressure on the attack that has been, quite frankly, has gone cold. Look at the recent runs. 1-0 loss to Newcastle, 3-0 loss to PSG, 3-0 loss to Everton. Chelsea have failed to score in 3 consecutive games in all competition for the first time since September 2023, according to Scorecard. We aren't just losing, we aren't even competing in the boxes anymore. And after the embarrassment at Everton, Enzo Fernández didn't sugarcoat it. He looked like a man who knows the war is closing in. He said it's been a disappointing evening so far. In terms of things we spoke about, not gifting goals away, getting control of the game, it wasn't there. And the historical weight of this failure is starting to set in. Chelsea have now lost 4 games in a row for the first time since 1993. We are breaking records for the wrong reasons. Everyone is pointing fingers, some at the managers, some at the players. But we have to look at the architects. We have to look at the owners and the sporting directors. The month of January and February suggested we are adapting to the high tempo demand of Enzo, but March has been a nightmare that raises systematic question about the sustainability of this model. The directors has doubled down on a recruitment model that prioritizes high-selling talents over proven qualities. Look at the PSG contrast. While we are betting on Mamadou Sarr and developing prospects, PSG turned up with Kavji Kvaratskhelia and Bradley Barcola, world-class players we were reportedly tracked but didn't pull the trigger on. In a high-pressure moment, this squad lacks the been there done that leadership that steadied the ship. Moving from Enzo Maresca to Enzo in January signaled a lack of long-term tactical blueprints. If Enzo becomes the 5th manager to depart under this ownership, it stopped being a coach problem. It becomes a system problem. And I hear people talk about experience all the time, and I have to laugh. Experience is good, it brings stability, but without quality, experience is useless. And when you look at PSG, what PSG has done better than us is that they recruited better. But for Chelsea, we don't just need leaders, we need experienced leaders with top level quality on the pitch. We need that perfect blend, quality young stars mixed with experienced quality leaders. Now let's look at the man in the dugout, because right now it's starting to look like Graham Potter era all over again. We are seeing the same process talk, the same long-term buzzwords, but the same catastrophic results on the pitch. When you look at the trajectory under Enzo, it's a tale of 2 halves. January and February, we are the honeymoon period. We are scoring high volume, dominating possession, and it looks like the squad are adapting to these high tempo demands. But March has been a nightmare. We have gone from a 4-1 win at Villa Park to losing 4 in a row, conceding 11 goals and failing to score in over 300 minutes of football. And what's crazy is that the possession stats are still high, averaging 63.5% in the last 3 losses. But the dominance isn't transitioning into points. It's empty possession. But despite this, the word from the top is clear. According to Fabrizio Romano, there is no message of an imminent change on Enzo. Chelsea don't forget he arrived in the middle of the season. He had no preseason, and that this is not a squad built for him. Let's see how the final 2 months goes, but Chelsea maintain their support for him. I'll be honest with you, I don't get the squad is not built for him parts. Isn't the whole point of this interchangeable model is that the style stays the same regardless of the coach? And honestly, it feels like a massive contradiction. The data tells us exactly why we are getting punished. Lemro Senior wants suffocating intensity, but our squad is literally grasping for air. In the second half of matches this month, our pressing sequence has dropped off a cliff. We are exhausted. The structural vulnerability is exactly what PSG exploited in that 8-2 aggregate slaughter. They used direct verticality to punish our disorganized transition. And the irony, our offensive numbers is actually elite. Highest XG in the Premier League this season, 62.60 Chelsea, higher than City, Arsenal, Man United and Liverpool. And we have recorded the most expected goals since January 1st, 25.34 XG. The Lemro Senior playbook gets the ball into the right zone, but we are failing in the execution moments. Nearly 40% of the goal we conceded in match came from unforced errors in our defensive thought. As reported by Kenan Gill, central defense is one area in need of attention this summer for Chelsea. Lemro Senior has said his positional style requires players who makes right decision in the right moment. They should see both signings and sale in the next window. Now let me take you back to last summer. Maresca believes he has no like-for-like for Kobe replacement to build attack and wants a centre-back. Chelsea decision makers disagree and have told him to find internal solution because their checkbook is closed for a centre-back. And now Lemro Senior is dealing with the same internal solution pressure. But let's talk facts. This squad can't play his football yet. You can't play a high line with Enzo and Palmer as 10. They are brilliant, but they don't have the intensity out of possession to cover that much space. If you can't press the ball, you can't play highline. You'll be exposed. Enrique never destroyed Rosinio like this when he was at Strasbourg because those players were intense from back to front. Look at the Club World Cup final. We didn't play highline. We pressed man to man and set traps. Maresca knew we couldn't play highline and didn't force it. Rosinio needs to realize that you don't force a philosophy that doesn't suit your players. We are in a long-term project where contract runs to 2032. But the culture is shifting to chaos. There are rumors of disconnect in the dressing room, confusion over tactical notes being passed during games, and a huddle ritual that has got so much radio from pundits, it has to be abandoned. And I've heard the calls for Lemro Senior's head, and based on the results, those calls are justified. But I have a question for you guys. Even if he goes, do you trust this board, given their track record of appointments and signings? Do you trust them to find the next manager that can actually carry this club forward? Or are we waiting for the next person to fail in the same system? Drop your thoughts below. Are you Rosinio out, or is the board the real problem? Now we have to talk about the heart of this team, because the situation surrounding Enzo Fernandez has reached a breaking point. And to be honest, this highlights my biggest fear. If the cornerstone of the project slips, the floodgates opens for everyone else to follow. The 8-2 aggregate slaughter by PSG wasn't just a tactical loss. It felt like a turning point for Enzo. Seeing him and Cole Palmer substituted after 60 minutes in the second leg, while trailing 2-0 was a massive statement from Lemro Senior. Enzo's disappointment was visible to everyone. And when ESPN Argentina asked him if he will be here next season, his response was cold. I don't know, there is 8 games left and the FA Cup. There is the World Cup, and then we will see. And honestly, this is not the answer of a man who is settled. There are reports of serious friction with the hierarchy. Enzo was reportedly hurt by how the board handled Maresca's departure, feeling it disrupted the tactical identity we are finally building. It's another example of the sporting directors creating instability in the dressing room. And the noise isn't just speculation anymore. The top insiders are confirming the situation. According to reports, Enzo Fernandez has chances of leaving Chelsea in the next European transfer window. And according to Fabrizio Romano, the contract situation is tough. The message I'm receiving on this Enzo story is that Enzo Fernandez and Chelsea have some conversation about the contract to discuss potential new terms for Enzo Fernandez. At the moment, they couldn't reach an agreement on new contracts. If the situation remains this, with no agreement from now until summer transfer window, Fernandez could eventually consider proposal in the summer. If he leaves, he already have a destination in mind. According to Ben Jacobs, Enzo Fernandez would be open to move to Spain should the right offer materialize. Real Madrid are closely monitoring this as part of their summer overhaul, and we know they offer one thing we can't guarantee right now: Champions League football. Chelsea might hold the card contractually, but you can't force a player to be a leader if his heart is in Madrid, and the board is digging their heel on the price tag. According to Ben Jacobs at Give Me Sports, It will take a fee significantly above a sack to Liverpool for Chelsea to entertain any sale for Enzo Fernandez. Some have suggested PSG, Saudi. If Real Madrid were ever to advance interest, that's the club sources believe he'll be interested in joining. At this stage, Enzo is not agitating for a move. And let's see what the summer brings. If Chelsea gets Champions League football or not, and what type of offers are on the table. Chelsea though holds all the cards and will never entertain a book loss on him. And Leon Senior on the other hand is working overtime to downplay this exit saga, claiming Enzo Fernandez comments were just translation and emotion. He's adamant that Enzo Fernandez is a irreplaceable leader. According to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea together with Leon Senior still consider Enzo Fernandez a very important player, a top player on the pitch, a leader, a winner. Chelsea believe that behind Enzo Fernandez's words after the game against PSG, there is also some feeling of disappointment because he wants to win and compete. But let's be real, winning and competing is exactly what we aren't doing right now. If we finish 6th, miss out on Champions League, why would a world-class talent like Enzo stay to watch the process reset for the 5th time? And this is the danger of a long-term project. If you don't provide the result on a short term, your long-term stars won't stick around to see the end. And I'm putting it to you, if Real Madrid comes with a massive offer this summer, do you sell Enzo to reinvest, or do you hold him to that 2032 contract, even if he wants out? And more importantly, if Enzo goes, who is next? Drop it in the comment section. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. It go be.